All right. So it's just a continuation of where we ended yesterday. And yesterday our discussion was on fundamental analysis, though we did a little recap on technicals, on especially what we've stated so far. And I got to realize most of you still have it in mind on what we've stated so far. And mind you, we are studying according to a plan. Okay, we are studying according to a plan. In as much as we are doing that, I thought of it wise and smart that fundamentals are also important. And as a trader, you can never ignore fundamental analysis in your trading journey. So what we've been doing previous years is, as we keep teaching technical analysis, mind you, crypto is very broad and it's not so easy to cover up things like that, right? So it's always preferable. Those who go for one-on-one mentorship is okay. If not, we can use, in fact, we have lessons like fundamentals, technicals, psychological, and then also on chain. So just imagine if we are to handle all these aspects. Yes, and of course, all these aspects also help traders to build knowledge and confidence in markets. Yesterday, we discussed a lot about the fundamental analysis. We discuss about the tools that a trader will need to get grab some of the knowledge about fundamentals, and we talk about a trader can go on X. You follow certain influencers, and today I'll talk more about those some of those influencers and their bad attitude, which you need to be very careful of. But if you want more information, news that impact the market and others, we discussed yesterday that could easily access them on X. So basically, the idea of fundamentals is to help traders do what? Evaluate the real and long-term strength of the project or of an asset. So when you become a trader, over the years, it's a mistake that a lot of traders have done. They've done such mistake, and this time around, it shouldn't be a mistake again, right? It's because most of you traders neglect fundamentals whilst focusing on only the technicals. Right? With technicals, you may decide to enter into a market, but with fundamentals, it may teach you when to enter into the market and if you deserve to enter into that particular market. That is fundamentals. So, if you become a trader and you ignore fundamentals and focus too much on technicals, you always have problem, especially on the spot market. So, studying fundamental analysis, they are just the means of you perform what you call evaluation. Do you get it? So we are in to evaluate and discover the strength of some assets, right? So that we can be able to trade with peace of mind. So basically, when we talk of fundamental analysis, that is all what that is the purpose. We discovering the real and the long-term strength of the assets or of an asset. So if I want to be a good trader, the first thing that I have to consider is to consider the strength, the real strength of the assets. Do you get it? The real strength. The condition there is the real strength of the asset. It's very, very important. And if you don't know the actual strength of the assets, anyway. So the real strength of the asset is what is important when it comes to fundamentals. Some assets possess just less strength in a market, and yet people would always want to chase those assets. And if you don't get to understand some of these concepts, you may always find yourself wanting. So, when it comes to fundamental analysis focus on at least 4 or 5 major things. First, if you want to succeed in knowing better, mind you, this is crypto, this is not forex. And with crypto, the fundamental analysis is more advanced than the forex. With forex, fundamental analysis has to do with more of news and macro events. Okay, and macro events. Yeah, we have micro and then macro. So with forex, that is where their focus lies. But when it comes to crypto, crypto does not only focus on just news and macro events. Okay. Now, if you want to succeed in this industry, be a good trader on both the sports market and then also on the futures market. Then, as I said yesterday, I repeat some of them today, that you don't need to neglect the project at hand. So the first thing that you have to consider is the project that you are talking about. And this has led a lot of people into their early grave. People follow projects without thinking about what the project is all about. Do you get it? Now, the next thing is the team. The team handling the project. So when we talk about the project, the first thing that has to come in mind, what is the project about? Do you get it? What is the project about? So most of you trade, you don't know what the asset is all about. What do they do? You don't know what they do. You don't know what they offer. You just jump on it because it's trading. You've seen it is pumping. Because it is pumping, I have to trade. No. First, the team is important. The project is important. Second is the team. So mostly, if you get to know the team behind the project, that is what gives you more confidence. Just imagine, we all know that CZ is the owner of Binance. Now, the very day CZ posted or tweeted, let me use this. The very day CZ tweeted this, broccoli. Hmm? The very day CZ tweeted broccoli, that very day, people invested massively in broccoli. Why? Because the team. Now, broccoli happens to be CZ pet, his dog. Hmm? The name of his dog's name is broccoli. Broccoli. So you see, when you take your time to study more about broccoli, and even though it's a dirty meme coin, but there is something behind the coin. So the team is important. Now, the next thing, the user case, and we shall talk more on that today. The user case or the use case, okay, of the project. It is important. Now, the next part of it, when we talk of the user case, actually, you get more information about user case this morning. So basically, when we talk about user case, we mean the problem the project is solving. And if the problem is real or they are just faking it. Do you get it? So fundamental analysis are so important and it makes trading to be trading. Without fundamental analysis, there wouldn't be any trading. So you don't need to ignore it. Like I said, I've started the journey. So let me see if my audience are right well with me. Because me, I've started off. It seems I'm not turning back. to see either my audience are there or they are not there. If you can hear me very loud and clear and everything is flowing, just give me one in the chat. If you can hear me very loud and clear and everything is flowing, give me one in the chat. Yes. Give me one in the chat. Mm-hmm. Give me one in the chat and let me know if everything is flowing. All right. That is awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome. Now I can see that my audience are following. Can see that my audience are following. Right. So that is the first thing. All right. So that is it. Right. Let's proceed. Let's proceed. So the theme is important, and then the user case. So when we talk of the user case, we mean the real problem the asset is what is solving. That is what we mean by what? By the user case. All right. Let's proceed. Now, the next thing that we talk about is market demand. You see, honestly, when you want to buy anything, when you go to market to buy anything, especially on the field of business, for us to start a business, the first thing that you need to ask yourself, what is the market demand? Market demand. And it is market demand that brings volatility. It is market demand that brings what? Volatility. So basically, we said when we talk of volatility, we mean the inflow and then the outflow, how buyers and sellers participate in moving the assets. So market demand is important. So just imagine you just go and buy something, you want to start a business, you go out there to start a business and you don't ask of the demand on the business you are yet to start. Have you seen it? Do you get it? So mostly the mistake that most traders do is not because the market is a problem. It's because they are their own problem. You don't know the demand of the market demand of that particular asset. Yet you jump to buy. Now investors are no longer pushing the asset because there is no demand. Since investors are not pushing, what do? You realize that now you'll be in floating loss. And the other part of this floating loss thing is that once floating loss is not a sin, once floating loss is not a big deal, the other headache part of it is that if you trade on assets with low market demand, this asset tends to be slow for decades before it even move. And that is where most traders begin to give up. Why do they give up? They give up for no reason. But then the actual reason is that the asset they are trading on has got no market demand or less market demand. Like I said earlier, once you start a business, the business you are starting in your environment, you realize that people don't even buy such products or they don't need it much there. Yet you tend to go there to buy the to set up such projects. Now, because there is going to be low market demand on that particular product, even though you've opened a very nice shop or a very nice business, yet the demand will be very low. And when demand is low, there is no way supply can move. So the end of it is to just do what? Quit. So market demand is something that every trader shouldn't ignore, right? Then the other most important part that will help you to know the market demand is token value. Token value. Token value. There are some tokens. When we talk of token, that is assets built on the blockchain. Sorry, assets built on other blockchains. So, like for instance, when you go to CoinMarketCap, of which you will go there, you will see tokens. So there are different between tokens and coins. Okay, tokens and coins. There are different between them. All right. So the token value is also important. Then the last part of fundamental analysis, which you should also consider, is news. News and macro impacts. News and macro what impact. They are important and they help the trader to stay aligned, especially a trader who is so focused on technical analysis may always get things wrong. Yeah, a trader who always focuses on only technical analysis and neglects fundamentals may always get things wrong, especially when they have been breaking news, which is affecting the movement or the volatility of the market. Or sometimes there are news, and that news is pertaining to the assets you are trading. Do you get it? The news may be pertaining to the asset you are trading. And since that news is focusing on that particular asset you are trading, it may either increase its value or decrease its value. Now the question is, what do you do? Hmm? All right. So let's proceed. So basically, the idea of fundamental analysis, okay, what? The idea of fundamental analysis is just to help you, the trader, or is to help you be able to do what? Hold strong projects for a long term, and then also make good investment decisions. That is one for fundamental analysis. So if you study fundamental analysis, one, your investment decisions would be solid, as in trading. Your decision in the market will be solid because you wouldn't just be making decisions based on hype and then also pump and dump. There are some of you, you just go to X, you see, hey, this is coming to pump, this asset is coming to do 20x, this asset is coming to do 100x. Then all of a sudden, you too want to buy some, you too also want to trade. No, we don't do that here. I said we don't do what? We don't do that here. Hmm? Over here, we don't do that. So let's quickly go to coin market cap. Let me see if there are any other information that I've not shared. Okay, so let's look at something. Hmm. All right. Now, like I said earlier, if you want to trade, the first thing, the problem or the user case of the project is important. and you need to know the problem an asset may be solving in the market. Do you get it? It should be your personal responsibility to learn, to know the problem that particular asset is what is solving. And then the real problem. The problem is not the issue, but the real problem it is solving. And basically, for instance, if we talk of memes, most memes don't solve any serious problem in the market. So if you are a trader and you want to invest or trade on memes, you should know what you are doing. When it comes to the team, let me say something about the team behind the project. Now, let's take Caesar as an example. I'll still use him again and again. Caesar is that guy who is so transparent in his dealing when it comes to his business. So if you want to get a team, sorry, the team behind the project, you should consider how transparent they are. And sometimes this thing though does not work all the time, but the founder, if he is known, there are so many assets that even to date we don't know the founders, and people still they keep investing in them. There is nothing wrong with not knowing a founder, but there is everything wrong when you have no idea what the project is solving, and then its transparency too is not clear. Do you get it? And yes, the founder too is not known, and that is called red flag. Hmm? That is red flag. If you understand what I'm saying, give me one in the chat. If you understand what I'm saying, give me one in the chat. Let me know if someone really understands what I'm talking about here. If you understand, give me one in the chat. If you understand, give me one in the chat. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let me see if my audience are catching up. Good, good, good. Now, the next most important thing, get ready, we are going to coin market cap there. Is white paper. Hmm? You see all these hungry people who just go around in the name of projects, following Ponzi schemes here and there. What they lack, the knowledge they lack is fundamentals. Okay, they lack that idea, and funny enough, they lack both fundamentals and technical in their journey. Now, a white paper of a project means a lot to its investors. The white paper of a project means a lot to its investors. So we talk about white paper, we mean first the vision. Hmm? What is the vision of the platform or the project? And this is why most traders from the onset, the early block, that is Bitcoin, after Satoshi Nakamoto mined the first block, most investors or most traders also saw that as an opportunity because of the white paper, the vision it carries. And cryptocurrency is full of technology. So you get to realize that when it comes to crypto is a full technology on its own, solving different problems in real world markets, right? And then the last part is the roadmap. If you are in doubt, check out. I said if you are in doubt, check out the roadmap. And that is how we see Bitcoin today. Today, Bitcoin has given a clear roadmap to every investor in the world, like Michael Saylor, that is MicroStrategy, and our other people in the world now. That is it, including government like US. Hmm? So white paper of a project is important. Just imagine all these projects, they come, no clear vision, they do this, they run away, people don't learn. Hmm? People don't learn. People don't learn. That is a very serious problem. That people don't learn. So quickly, we go to coin market cap. Like I said, we won't keep long here today. We won't keep long here today. So quick, let's go to coin market cap. All right. So yesterday we talked about the fact that, let me see if I can use this. Okay. So yesterday we talked about the fact that if a trader wants to understand, especially if you are trading on the futures market, one of the things that would also help give better understanding to the market language is the market cap itself. So market cap and how it rises and fall within a week. I said in a week. So sometimes you get to realize that the price keeps decreasing. Now look at fear and greed. Yesterday we saw extremely. So the greed and the fear index, or the fear and greed index, was extremely bad. Do you get it? So yesterday we discussed that if you see such things in the market, that should tell you that the market don't have much momentum of rising, rather as compared to dropping in what in value. Right. Now let's start the real game. Let's start the real game. Yes, so yesterday someone also asked about how they can see news and macro events. So you see, when it comes to crypto, let me say this before it's I forgot. Now, when it comes to crypto, there are few things that impacts traders' confidence. Like for instance, regulation. Regulation. Once we hear that there is going to be regulations for crypto or a particular asset, most traders' confidence begins to increase. Do you get it? Most traders' confidence begins to increase. And you see, sometimes some of these regulations comes from, for instance, if it's coming from US or any other superpower or any other financial institution, you get to realize that it builds confidence in traders. And then the next part is SEC, US Security Exchange what Commission. If SEC decide to bring in any lawsuits, any better lawsuits against for the markets, it also boosts traders' confidence. So all these things are news that you need to learn them. Hmm? Then another most important thing, that is ETF, exchange traded fund approval. So mostly when ETFs approves a particular asset, it tells or it communicates to traders that more investors or advanced or serious investors are getting into the market. Hope it's clear. So regulation, SEC lawsuits, and then ETF's approval. And other most important news that every trader need not to neglect is interest rates. interest rates. This is one of the high news that really impacts the market, interest rates. When rate is cut, it decides how volatility should run through the market, because investors are always looking for positive ways to make more money. Or if it wouldn't help them, then they have to do what? Back off by selling more. Are we together? Are we together? Are we together? So in a case, if it happens that a rate is cut and it doesn't favor the people, the next thing you realize is more selling opportunities, more selling opportunities in the market. You get it? All right. Now back to coin market cap here. There are a few things that we just yesterday I said we talk about coins, and now one of the most important thing that most traders don't give attention to, we are going to discuss about some of the things here, right? Some of the things or most of the informations here. So we have the desk scan, um, exchange, NFT, token unlocks, chains, and then categories. Now, yesterday's the question about sorry the coins to trade. So come to chains. Chains. The first thing that you have to do is to do it is to come to chains. Now let's click on chains. So on a spot market, if you are the type you are afraid of floating loss, and I've earlier said that floating loss is not a big deal. But what makes it a big deal is that daily asset you intend to trade, and now that asset decide not to behave again. You yourself you don't know what it's the problem it's even solving in the market. And every day it keeps dumping. Just imagine the asset that is supposed to pump small, every day it keeps dumping like water, like Amatan water. It keeps drying all the time. And this makes you panic. So if you want asset to trade, you see we have chain chains here. For instance, when you come, you have the Ethereum blockchain, the Tron blockchain, Solana, BSC, Arbitrum, Avalanche, that is AVAX. AVAX. We have Polygon, Base. All these ones are chain assets, which under them or beneath are various projects, or various projects or tokens that are built on these assets. Do you get it? So it is important that if you want to trade, your number one key should be considering these chain assets. How many of them can you trade? So consider them first. Do you get the point of discussion here this morning? Do you get a point of discussion? Do you get it? Let me get back to the chat room to say. Very good. Very good. So the idea is always simple. Trade with peace of mind. Get assets that no matter how, even if it takes listen, even if it takes a year, there are assets like, so starting from here, like Ethereum, Solana, BSC, AVAX. These assets are assets that no matter how west they go to get to, they are never the same. It has got a good future. Do you get it? It has got what? A good future. right? So if you're a trader, trade with caution, trade within zones where you have your peace of mind. um Trade within zones where you have your peace of mind. um Alright, so that is it for chain assets. Now, when you click on each of these assets, you will see what we called TVL. TVL, that is the total valued locked, right? The total value of the asset was logged here. Now we have each of these assets. So LDO, have Pendle, Fluid, almost all the assets we trade, most of the assets that we trade, most of them are under solar Ethereum blockchain. So your first responsibility, identify the chain within which the asset find itself or can be located. Then if you talk about audio, let's see. Then the next thing, we have what we call community. The community. So within LDO, there is a community that LDO belongs to. And what are the views of the community? What do they say? Then also we have the market. So let's see. So when it comes to the community, one, we have the community sentiment, which of late I don't actually, it doesn't matter much. But people's view and analysis about LDO. So let's see. They said the LDO price failed to break through the um 4-hour fair value gap zone between 0.3 and 0.35 and may now continue its correction towards the lower liquidity zone. The price, where is it? A new attempt to break through the 4-hour zone, free blah 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 blah. Okay, so this person wants you to join his Telegram, something something something. Well, so what we are trying to mean in essence is the community also speaks more about the asset, or it tells more about the asset. What the community think about the asset. So right, then the market. When we talk of the market, of late it seems those things I don't normally see them. Either I don't know, either it's because I don't hold everyday T assets. I don't normally see the listing coins of late. Hmm? The listing. I don't normally see them. If not, the next thing is, you see we have the spot and then derivatives here. So LDO on the spot market, the liquidity, then the volume that flows into that particular asset that calls LDO on Binance and on other exchanges. So you see, when we trade, one, we trade because of liquidity in a particular asset. So why don't you make it your priority to learn more, know which asset holds the exchange that holds the high liquidity in that particular asset, and then the volume that it carries. So 1.65 what million. All right. So um, let me look at about LDO. Good. About LDO. Now, this is where the actual big deal begins. about LDO. What is LDO? Lido DAO. Hmm? The DAO simply means decentralized autonomous organization. So you see, all those people ranting, going up and down, searching for staking opportunities to stake and make money, huge money, because of their greediness. This asset called LDO, that is their mission. They said LDA is a decentralized autonomous organization which provides staking infrastructure for multiple blockchain networks. Most notably, the platform provides a liquid staking solution for Ethereum, allowing users to stake their Ethereum and receive ST Ethereum, that is Lido staked Ethereum tokens in exchange, which represents the user's staked Ethereum and staking rewards. So come to know that LDO has got what it also provides for the community. Who are the founders of LDO? We've talked about this, right? So first, founders. Who are these founders? Let's look at it. Even though you may not know them, so LDO established by Konstantin Lomacek. Blah blah blah. Look at the name. This name there. In 2020, the organization was helped to launch by a collective of financial firms and angel investors. The finance firm include Semantic VC, Parafy Capital, Lebatos Capital, BitScale Capital, Stakefish, then Staking Facilities, Chorus, P2P Capital, and then OKR1. Now, the next thing is what makes LDO unique. So, you see, all these handful of angel investors who helped them, they've mentioned their names. You are eligible to go to the internet to search more about some of these investors and then finance firms that they've mentioned, what they actually do. This is what makes you a trader, because you want something, it's your money, and since it's your money, you are taking full responsibility for the decision you are making for your own money. Mind you, some of these lessons you won't get it anywhere. And the very day you stop using royal kill boats, this information will end for you. Listen, the very day you stop using these bots, this information ends. Because in the crypto markets, people don't waste my time telling you secrets. Even on social media, they don't tell you the deep information you need to know. Eh? So you get royal kill, you have an opportunity to learn and advance yourself very well. Are we together? 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 Eh? Are we together? This is very important and you need to take it serious. And you see, this thing that we are telling you, even if you choose to be a trader or wherever you go, there are real skills that you've acquired and no one is going to take this thing from you. That is one another secret too that you need to know. Hmm? That is another secret that you need to do, to need to know. That is the reason why when someone gets into royal care and that person is still doing Ponzi scheme, personally, I see that there is something wrong with the medulla. Hmm? The medulla is not that, like, there is a problem. Because upon acquiring all these skills, this knowledge, which would impact your confidence and decision making, and yet you can't make a bold decision for yourself and understand the things you need and the things you don't need to do in your own financial journey, then something is wrong with your medulla. Hmm? So, guys, having Royal Q here gives us an opportunity for us to bond and learn together as family. That is all what we need. So, after understanding this, you get to realize that one, you yourself, if it is about floating loss, even though it may appear in your trading on the spot market, but it will be less, and it will even give you more confidence whenever you are in floating loss because you know the nature of the assets you are trading. That should be your priority. The nature of the assets you are trading should be your priority. That is the reason fundamental analysis is what is important. You get it? That is the reason fundamental analysis is important. It gives you confidence for you to know the nature or the state of the assets you are trading. Hmm? It also gives you more confidence for you to believe in the decision you've made. So people just jump outside there, they just any investment they trade, any investment they hand over to them, they begin to invest. When you are like that, you are just a mumu person who don't know what you are doing, who don't know what you want. Eh? Just recent. Sometimes I don't know. You see, I'm very observant. And me, when I see things, I don't like talking much because I've learned to mind my business. Eh? I've learned to mind my business. So if you choose to live in your life in ignorance, it is up to you. People started trading spot markets, they added futures markets. All of a sudden, they said they are ambassadors of DeFi. Today, another time, you see them, the ambassadors of this, of that. They didn't see that DeFi ambassador that they claim they were, it's going to bring problem to them. Today, where is those projects? You see, LDO is a staking project and it has been existent till now. They didn't ask you to, they didn't tell investors to bring in their money to somewhere so that they do for them. Everything is on the Ethereum blockchain. Where are those people who said they were staking? Where are they now? They are nowhere to be found because they lack the knowledge to do the business that is called trading. All what you need in crypto is knowledge. Hmm? All what you need in crypto is another time you see them, they said they are into another arbitrage business. Tomorrow is Thursday, we will discuss about advanced knowledge in trading. They don't have any knowledge about arbitrage. Look, that's the reason why they said lack of knowledge, my people perish. Hmm? Lack of knowledge. People perish for lack of knowledge. Ah, my brother. You yourself, just look at yourself. The day you misbehave, it's not because of lack of knowledge. That's the reason why you did something so bad to yourself. Hmm? So if someone happens to tell you that me, I'm an experience in trading or I'm an ambassador of this and of that, and today you see them, what they were ambassadors of, they couldn't hold on to. Yet they keep telling you that they are knowledgeable in the crypto industry. Then it is oxygen that is in their brain. It is oxygen, only gas. It's fusion of gases. That is what they contain in their brain. That is all. There is nothing there. It's empty, gaseous space. That's all. So why should you even worry yourself instead of you to take your time to learn? You just follow these people anyhow. I'm telling you this because if this LDO, ordinary LDO here, is taking project for the Ethereum platform, then how much more should it be? Before someone will begin to deceive you on there is a better staking opportunity, there is better arbitrage where, take your time. Learning fundamental analysis gives you the confidence. So you see, we get back here, you learn more about LDO before you do it, you make that decision. That is what I'm trying to mean in essence, my dear. Now, the next part of it that we will look at is when we talk of total circulation, but I think I have to hold on so that people can ask questions. So when we talk of total circulation, then circulating supply. And you see, coming back here, I'm not going to continue. So you can start asking your question. Coming back here, you see, they said how many LDO coins are there in circulation? So, like, if God permit tomorrow, that's where we will continue our session. Circulating supply, total supply, and then how it also impacts the markets. So, basically, I mean tokenomics. We shall look at tokenomics of an asset if God permit tomorrow. Mhm. The tokenomics. Mhm, of an asset. So that's what we will be looking at. So all these things they have got meaning. If you see DAO treasury, investors, validators, initial deal developers, then founders and futures employees. So we shall look at all these ones if God permits tomorrow. Right. Let me get back. We've got a lot to learn. Right. So we shall talk about the white paper. Sorry, that's the website and then the white paper. All right, which these two things are very, very important. So let me get back here so that you can ask your question. Have you learned something this morning? Have you learned something this morning? Yes, so hey, so Yoruba language we say which means sick in the brain. You see, yeah, that is it. People are sick in the brain. It's just gas that is in the mind. All right, guys. So if you have any question, ask your question. Like I said, I won't keep long. I have to go elsewhere this morning, so I'm already busy. I have to get prepared and then go. So let me take your questions. 30 to 45 minutes here, 1 hour here has been good. It's good we learn all the time. So the meeting is also recorded. You can go on YouTube to watch both yesterday's session and then today's session as well. So if you have any question, if God permit, tomorrow we will sum up on fundamental analysis so that we proceed with our lesson on what we were doing previously. So, guys, if you have any question, you can drop your question in the chat. If you have any question, you can drop your question in the chat. If not, I believe we can bring the session to an end. If there is no question, I believe we can bring the session to an end. If there is no question, I believe we can bring the session to an end. Mhm. So someone saying I need a clear guide on how to pick a trade. I need a clear guide on how to pick a trade. I don't always see. So my brother, the issue on how to pick a trade, first it depends on two factors. Either you are a sports trader or a futures trader, right? Okay, so I don't always see the signal in time. Yes, so that's the reason why we are learning all these things. So picking up a trade comes with two options. This thing is not working. Picking up a trade comes with two options. One, two knowledge, sorry. One is technical, okay? Technical, and then also the second part has to do with fundamentals. And most importantly, on the spot market, you need more knowledge on fundamentals, then technicals as well, right? So I believe you join the session and then we discuss more on these two. But focus on for now, if you're a spot trader, fundamental analysis should be your priority. Honestly, if you're a spot trader, fundamental analysis should be your priority first. All right. So we will talk more on that if God permits in the next session. But short videos too, we will drop short videos on how to pick a coin actually. But mind you, in advance, technical analysis is the basis and the fundamental analysis, both technical and fundamental analysis are the basis of picking up a coin. Right. Okay. All right. So I believe we will end here for today. If God permits, we shall meet again tomorrow. All right. So thank you to Joyce Jackson. All right. So guys, let's end here. I have an appointment and I have to attend to someone. So if God permits, this evening, today is Wednesday, and we have business presentation. Today is Wednesday, and we have business presentation. If God permits, tomorrow is Thursday, and we'll continue with the lesson, and then also we shall also look at an advanced session on crypto trading, advanced lesson on crypto trading. So let's all get prepared. We shall meet again in the next session if God permit this evening. Invite all your prospects. Let them join. Let them also learn. It is important to grow with your prospects. When you grow with your prospects, you shall grow together in knowledge and you will build together as well. So get prepared. Tell your prospect that this evening you have a business meeting. Tell them that there is a presentation that is going to take place this evening and they should make time to join. It's really going to change their life. It's going to help them to learn more and have more knowledge about cryptocurrency. So tell them something. Let them get prepared so that they join us this evening. We shall meet again. I love you all and have a good day. Bye.